So essentially there are 12 A's to online influence and automation, essentially. But I'm going to start with the first fundamental 3. And I personally believe that when you minimize the noise, chatter on your screen, the real estate of the actual desktop becomes a lot more productive. If you simply go right click, say add tab, and you start with admin. Okay? My admin area is, luckily for me, this app that's going to internal server error right now. Mine. I know why it's doing it. It worked. No, don't worry about it. Okay. And when you have admin, you can move on to analytics so that you know what's happening online with your platforms. Okay. And we can now go add a new tab. Call this one. Internet's a bit slow. Analytics, and then we're going to open up. Sorry. Yeah, I see. Internet's not good. Apologies for the slow internet. I'm not going to stop right now. This isn't going to take long. It's because I'm sitting outside and I'm trying not to make a lot of noise. There we go. That's all right. Now, obviously, well, I shouldn't say obviously because this stuff isn't obvious. It takes time, practice, patience to build all of this, or that you need it, first of all, to put it all in place, and then to make it work. It's even harder. And it never works the way you want it to work, believe me. You can try as hard as you want to. But we can just do our best at making the best out of a bad situation. So, my setup is quite simple. I've got my calendars. So I can see when I've got my bookings and my meetings between my calendars, essentially. And on the right hand side, I've got my pipeline. Okay. Now, this is most of them admin done because all I got to do is go flip between these tabs: Super.crm, SEO Works, ADIO, Green Solutions, and Actions. And I can just add dashlets. For example, let's add a tab. Just for vergeet, we'll call this one SEO. Always good to have an SEO tool handy, especially when you are an SEO, search engine optimization specialist. And the tool we're going to use here is copy, go to SEO tab, which we've just created. We're going to say add a dashlet. We're going to go to web, and we're simply going to paste it and add it. And then we're going to close it. And then we're going to adjust the height from 315 to 850. Save it. And now we've got an SEO Analyzer on our site, which does the following. enter your website URL and say review. It'll then go and scan it for you. Let's do, I'm not going to log in right now. Go back. 2 fingers. Anyway, it will give you then a report on your website. Mine's already been done. Yours will take about 5 minutes to scan. And then you can see that when you press on these buttons, it'll tell you exactly what's wrong with your site. Color coded. Green, orange, and red. Red's obviously bad. This is a bit more advanced, but essentially, if it's red, get it green. And you get it green by clicking on it and telling you exactly what's wrong with it. Pretty cool, right? Now, we're still underneath admin. When we close admin, you'll see that the whole thing closes, and we're now in analytics. Analytics is how we measure our efforts online. And we do that through going to the analytics dashboard, real time. This is where I spend most of my time when I go when I build, optimize, and then measure. I don't do it to get the views. I do it to understand how people are interacting with the app and with the content that I put out. Because essentially, I need to make a living from this. It's harder than you think. Okay, and then it'll tell you exactly how many people have been on the site recently. It gives you all the stats that you need, but this is live. So if you want to say, like if someone goes in the app now, they'll pop up. If you go to the dashboard, you can then go and compare the figures, the numbers. You can add comparisons, and you can build a report that tells you this week 183 people in Fort Lauderdale opened my app once, and they did the following action, which is what I wanted them to do: sign up, create your profile, engage, select the dimension. So let's go do name. Let's do a region, language code. Age is an interesting one. And then you can say, okay, and then you can apply. Another comparison for you. Close your comparison box. It's more space. And then you'll see that it'll then give you the stats. Now that's analytics. Okay, it's measurements. It's not rocket science, but it's important to know. And then we can now go into the final one, which is the fun one. Automation. Automation is amazing. Okay, if you know how to do automation properly, you can really do well for yourself, because everything online has got a way to manipulate the data. And manipulation, I mean using it to your imagination. Sounds corny, but it's true. Okay, so I reached my limit there. That's fine. We've got another one. Well, that's bad though, because I use that account the most. Shit, I gotta essentially duplicate everything. Or not, I can just increase it. increase the threshold. So this tool is the Swiss Army knife of online integration. I'm not going to go into too much detail about this on the side. You don't need to know about this. You just need to know that you can go create a scenario. A scenario has got a module or a bunch of modules. Modules are referred to as apps that you use on a daily basis. Google Sheets, Google Maps, Google Earth, Facebook, Instagram. You get the picture. They are all modules. Then you get custom modules like webhooks. And let's first do A. No, let's do one that's easy. Google Sheets. Google Sheets is the perfect example to use for you to understand what you can do with it. You probably have a Excel sheet or a Google Sheet with data inside of it. Data can be various formats. The example that I'm going to be using is contact details. Okay. Wait, sorry, I must first go do a wrong one. List sheets. Okay. It's going to go and take a sheet that I have in my Google account, which I haven't connected yet. This is a good example. Let's go do name it Green Crew Solutions. So that's the account. Sign into my Green Crew Solutions email account and then connect for you. Really not that hard. I think the biggest mistake people make when they try and work online is they've got no patience. You'll see that I've got a bunch of sheets named, employees, deckhand, or deckhands autofollow, database installer. It's all data. And I've got my sheet that says my contacts final. All right, let me choose something I haven't used in a while. Let me find something good. Yachting marinas. Okay. Yachting marinas is essentially I think there's about 500 in here. Marinas all around the world with their contact details and their addresses. I'm going to go run this now, one time, so that I get a successful sequence. I can now see the data that it's been giving back to me.